Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just texting a guest. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Combine, man. The combine's going on, and I'm just like bzz, bzz, on the phone, trying to get all kinds of info, talking to people, line up guests for the coming weeks. Football's like it's there. It's in the ethos. It's great, right? Good morning. Happy Thursday to all across the Delaware Valley. It's Thursday already. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by TrueMark. TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Go to TrueMark.com/PHLY. So we're going to do go over some of the headlines of yesterday because weird things going on, right? So I want to start the show off. I can't do Sixers anymore. I can't do it. The only thing that we'll discuss to start the show with them before we go over to, I'm sure Pat will have, today is from the editor's desk, and I'm sure Pat will have a Sixer thing, but and Kevin Negandhi will probably want to talk about him too. But it's the obvious, right? It's Paul George yesterday making his proclamation that he is done with the podcast. Trust the podcast. He is pulled the plug so he can focus. I hate this guy, dude. I'm going to tell you. I freaking hate this dude. Oh, my God. Like, all right, it took you to March when you're 18 games on the 500 to go, well, maybe I should focus on basketball. After you're dead and buried, I watched you score 2 points in a game. I watched you be listless. I watched you play no defense. I've seen you miss 3 games because of a pinky. But now you're going to stop the podcast as we approach March of a lost season, of a horrific season. Now, just go away. Oh, God. Shut him down. I beg the Sixers. Shut him down. I'd rather see Ricky Council IV and Violations Greg IV and whoever else the fourth wants to play. But him. I can't do it. Shut him down. Enough. Oh. And speaking of enough, can we now go to the NFL pundits? There's so much chatter about this sport, all right? There's so much chatter and utter nonsense. I love talking about it, right? We all do. It's a cottage industry. We love to talk football. We love to talk about it. It's the greatest sport. We love it. But what I can't stomach is people that prostitute the talk. All right? I've never been one for hot takes. This is not my thing, all right? Because I just think it's waste of time. It's people that don't really care about the game, right? They want to stimulate something for ratings, and it's the most meaningless, empty conversation. And it really is dumb conversation. So on the dumb conversation, I give you this. It's coming. Where do you say it? Here we go. Audio, please. All right. They're talking about, let me just set it up for you. I wanted you just to hear it, but it's about Jalen Hurts and all the quarterbacks that they would take over Jalen Hurts. Now, it's CBS. Here we go. I think we got it. CBS, all the pundits, and they're all gathered together to have a real meaningful discussion on what quarterbacks they would rather have than Jalen Hurts.
still think you go with the physical skill set that Trevor Lawrence has. He has a bigger arm. He's a better runner, which is a lot of what these evaluations are coming to, which is why Jalen Hurts wasn't a top 10 pick. He has intangibles that are off the charts, but I think from a player who you would want to go with and build around, if you asked anybody, all things were equal, you would go with Trevor Lawrence because
Next
that's
one.
great.
I don't even know why this one's included here, but Noah wants to ask Hurts or Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Jaden Daniels all day long.
Let's move on.
We'll bounce past that one.
Said about that one.
This one kind of interesting, though. Hurts or Drake May?
Oh, another easy one. I think it's easy. I think you go with Drake May. I think
So 3 years from now, Drake May will be a better
If you put
quarterback?
Drake May on the Eagles with that roster, would he win a Super Bowl within 3 years? I think he would.
He wouldn't have won it this year, though.
Maybe not.
Wow, Danny's more of a Hurts hater than Pete. How about Hurts or C.J. Stroud, who was great as a rookie, but then kind of took a step back this year?
I would take C.J. Stroud. I just think, again, a guy that can throw the football better. He doesn't run like them. You'd have to play in that offense. But I think if you get a run game, and he had it with Mixon this year, and have people healthy, I think he's going to be fine. His problem was his offensive line. You put C.J. Stroud behind that offensive line in Philadelphia, he's going to stand back there all day and pick you apart.
These are easy. It's C.J. Stroud all day long that you would take over Jalen Hurts.
Is Hurts or Brock Purdy, Danny? What do you think?
I see the same quarterback. And I think these two are equivalents, which is why he's been able to have the success as he's had.
And here's the other thing about it. There's 5 elite quarterbacks in the National. 5. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and now Jaden Daniels. There's 5. The next group, you can interchange all of them. You can put Jalen Hurts at 8, at 12, at 13. You could put him at 6. I think you can make an argument for all of them. But by sitting here saying Jalen Hurts is better than this, and this, I don't think you can sit here and say that.
All right. Now, is that conversation the dumbest conversation going? Like, how starved are you for a conversation? This is just utterly stupid. All right, listen, you can all judge quarterbacks, and we all like the way some throw, do this, do that. But to come up with a segment that just says, well, Drake May would be better than Jalen Hurts. What are you, serious? Listen, I've picked at Jalen throughout the years, all right? He would do X, Y, and Z. Can you fault anything that he has done this past season? Seriously. After the start, right? He's played perfect football, winning football. He's been who this team needs, right? They win because he is at the helm. He's playing Magic Johnson role point guard. You ask him to throw, he'll make plays down the field. Yeah, they have a great roster. They have a great O-line. They have great receivers. They have Saquon. We get it. But you can't completely diminish what Hurts has done. It's just not fair. It's not right because he's answered every question. Every time this stuff comes up, he answers it, right? You need him to throw. Look what he did against Washington. Look what he did against the Super Bowl. You need him to make a big throw. He steps up. My God. I guess I wasn't expecting this yesterday when it was said to me. I figured Eagles win the Super Bowl, all the quarterback stuff just dies away, right? It's Hurts is a unique player. Because, he's not going to throw for 300, right, on a regular Sunday. But he's just going to win. He's going to use his legs, right? He's going to make throws down the field. He can make that drop in the bucket throw. And to have a whole segment on all the quarterbacks who are better than him and would win, you don't know any of that. And the fact is, it's so ridiculous that they're going, well, would Drake May win it this year? Maybe. All the intangibles of being a leader, of playing together, of being on the field together. My God, that's football. It's not just individually 7-on-7 stuff. I mean, the way we talk about quarterbacks sometimes is so maddening. I got an issue with Franny Films later with his initial top 10 quarterback ranking. Man, this one infuriated me. Good morning, VG.
Thanks for making me dumber. You got to be kidding me. The CBS certified bum show, apparently.
I mean,
like, what
that's
is going
CBS.
on? Dude.
You're that stuff. I'm sorry. I got it sent to me. You're going to live in my misery that I had to see it.
I was feeling good.
Therefore, you had to see that.
Dude.
All right?
All right, so he's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's outplayed Mahomes twice. He's a questionable call from 2 Super Bowl championships by the age of 26. That's without one of those without Barkley.
Look at his record. His record is ridiculous. Like, listen, I can be highly critical of quarterbacks. I can be highly critical of Jalen, right? Like, you can do that.
Yes.
After the run that he has, stacked on what happened most of last year before the collapse, all of the year before that, that's to me, your resume. It's a freaking great resume. And you shouldn't be subject to Drake May talk.
Drake May. Who are those guys? What is that collection of people? They are. I actually think we live in a world where no names and some with big names just troll Philly and poke us. So they know we'll talk about it. They know we're passionate. They know we can't control ourselves.
Ridiculous. Like, they spent a whole segment. Trevor Lawrence, yes. Brock Purdy, well, they're the same quarterback.
Listen, Sunshine has looked so skittish and scared every time he's behind center.
I love Sunshine coming out of Clemson. All right? He is. You're right. Skittish. He has not played well.
Does not throw a deep ball anything like Jalen Hurts.
He's erratic. As great as the arm could look.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter if you can't do it in the game.
Right.
So, hey, it's great when it looks like 7-on-7 in practice and you could just spin it and it looks great and pretty. But when the real bullets coming at you, it's a different story.
Totally different story. We've seen that with, our boy Ben in the gym with the 5'6" trainers trying to block his shots. He looks great. Trevor Lawrence looks great on 7-on-7s. But
that's
NFL day. He's not good at all.
Tell me that, that's just like we're getting this. Oh, it's the Super Bowl's the parade. We're still cleaning up from it.
Yeah,
right.
You see the
shirt, champions, baby, champions.
And there's that's a great shirt.
That's all right. Yeah,
Super John.
Well, they're champs. And is he the best quarterback in football? No. Drake May,
like the score and all.
Yeah, Drake May is insulting.
Well, I mean, the whole conversation.
Brock Purdy's insulting.
Like, the whole thing's insulting, right? To have a conversation like that after the Super Bowl, oh, my God. Yeah, we understand that the Eagles' O-line is great and that the AJ and Devontae are great and Saquon. We get it. But you still need to execute it, right? Like, Mo Cheeks still had to be a great player to win a title with Julius Erving, Andrew Toney, and Moses Malone. Like, you still need to execute it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like VG or I could go out there and throw the ball and be as successful as Jalen Hurts behind that line. Like, you need to be.
You can't throw.
Yeah.
I'm
throw the
just
ball
saying,
like 12
but
yards.
Oh, come on. I can throw a little further than that.
No, I said I can throw the ball 12 yards.
But what I'm saying is.
You can't spin it.
What I'm saying is,
He's a spinner. He's a spinner.
You have to be successful. You have to be talented, and Jalen Hurts is.
Well, no, but we're talking about in the scope of NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, we agree on the same thing. Your analogy is off, but we agree.
Well, what they're saying, how I interpret it, was that like anybody can win with this team.
Yeah, they're saying plug in anyone.
Plug anybody in, they're going to win.
Here's what they're saying, right? Because Drake May showed promise last year, right? Like, he showed promise. And they're trying to say, well, because the Eagles are so good around him, that these other guys that have ability, like C.J. Stroud, like we know he had ability, and his O-line did not stand up. I mean, he didn't have a good year. He had a down year, at least compared to his rookie season, because he was under pressure, under duress.
Yeah.
Right? He's a good quarterback. I like him. But to say that they're interchangeable pieces is just wrong, because you're doing a disservice to the game. Like, the game is about that 11, right? It's about, a group of men together, it's.
I got to say, it just comes to mind. Troy Aikman was a good quarterback. He played with an amazing offensive line and Emmitt Smith and great skilled players. And I don't remember this talk with Troy Aikman. People say, "Nah, you can plug in the 20th best quarterback on this team."
Actually,
and they're going to win the Super Bowl.
There were later on. There was a lot of that.
Like post-career?
Yeah.
No, but
when we ranked quarterbacks.
In the thick of it, though,
I remember hearing about it.
No one was having these talks when the Cowboys were doing their thing about Troy
also
Aikman.
back then, there was no social media and there was no, you had one show, NFL Today. Maybe it would have been if there were,
I guess.
If there was all this proliferation of everything, including us.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just the landscape that we're in. And it might have been the same
whatever,
thing.
the one bozo, you could plug in anyone after the first 6, or you could plug in anyone after the first. Like, what's he talking about?
Yeah,
these quarterbacks are atrocious in this league.
I don't get it. I just, and the way we talk about quarterbacks sometimes.
The Lions have a good offensive line, and Goff's throwing 5 interceptions in some games.
Listen. You don't need to denigrate all the quarterbacks. Goff had a great year.
Goff is good. I'm just saying
he doesn't
get what Jalen gets.
He gets criticized. I mean,
I don't see it like this, man.
Yeah. Well,
every time you turn on the TV, it's Jalen Hurts.
I just can't. To me, it should be off limits after you win the Super Bowl. Like, there should be immunity. You win the Super Bowl, you get immunity. Right? Isn't that fair?
For the most part. I don't think Trent Dilfer got or deserved immunity for a little bit of time there.
I just think you deserve immunity. Couple things. One, you feel better now about Paul George? That he stopped podcasting?
As my friend Hicksy told me, season saved. He's focused on basketball, throwing almost a triple-double last night. Last night was a great game. Exciting. Nail-biting at the end, and we got the loss we all want and didn't need. So, yeah, good night for the Sixers. High on my list today that irritated me is Richard Lovelady going in twice on Bryce and dinging him in the first game. I have a problem with Rich Lovelady. Did you not see Harper get hit?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he came in once.
Elbow.
No,
he came in once on him.
Actually, we're talking basketball, and then you switched to baseball.
I'm sorry. Richard Lovelady. I hate this guy's name.
I was already thinking about football, so you really spun.
My bad.
You spun me like
That's my bad. He's just stuck in my craw. It's like the first game. He goes in once, misses him, and then he hits him on the upper tricep, almost in his head. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
That irritates me.
Yeah.
So,
no, I hear you. And also today, some of the sad news. Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Was found dead. Him and his wife and his dog. That's awful. I love Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Later in the show, we got to do an homage to Gene.
Yeah. Gene's the everyday, everyman actor. He gives us ugly folks, if we ever want to be an actor, hope. Because he's not a stud, not a real handsome guy.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, but he's very
amazing actor.
He's a great actor.
He's so
amazing
talented.
actor.
He's ridiculous. He's just a great actor. And then, of course, a lot of the news coming out of Indy. So the workouts begin today, right? All the workouts, the positional stuff will happen.
They started yesterday.
Well,
Lenny Craig showing off. Kid from Berlin. Kicking 55-yarders like it's nothing. Only kicker to not miss anything. I mean, just saying, might be okay to bring a little competition in here.
I hear you.
Yeah.
How about the Abdul Carter news?
I know.
Just keep saying, terrible news, terrible news.
Yeah, terrible news.
Just have him drop the 30. What are we, 31?
No, he's
32.
still going to take him. They're going to take him.
Get the surgery. Get the surgery.
A fall. Tennessee's going to take him. You don't pass up that talent.
I'm hoping he drops a 32.
He's not dropping the 2, let alone 32. He's going number 1.
Let a boy dream. Let a boy dream.
You're stupid. You sound like CBS people. Rule changes.
Okay.
So some of the proposed rule changes are tweaking overtime. I think you got to do it.
I don't love overtime. What is the tweak?
There might go to a 15-minute quarter.
Love it.
So do I.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people want to go to college. I don't know.
College. I like that. I like that format.
Need a little
I think it's
He
a
jumped
great.
in, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
cut
think
you
it's
off.
a great.
For a non-sportsman to jump in like that?
Well, he's a guy who follows a sport. He loves a sport that ends in ties all the time, and they love it.
Yeah, I know.
It won't end in a tie going the college route.
I know.
I don't like college. I love college football. I don't like that overtime. I don't. It's too gimmicky. It's too much. I don't like the shootout. I don't like games I don't like things that are decided like skill competition.
I agree.
And, I just don't dig it. I don't
So
like
what happens after the quarter? It's just a tie after the quarter?
Yes. And then to me, sudden death in playoffs, it's just sudden death.
Yeah, you just go regular game. Yeah. I like that.
I think that's what you decide the game the way the game's played.
Yes. That totally. And a lot of it comes down to a flip of a coin.
I know. That's why they need to tweak it. So they're also talking about using video replay for certain flags.
Love it.
Picking them up, right? Not throwing them. So it's not like you can go.
You can say I was held and look at it. Right. Yeah.
It's just if there's a flag,
Love it.
they'll go in and you can look at it. You like
Love
that?
it, yeah.
You like that, Andrew?
Yeah, I like that.
What else? The other one that's kind of interesting. I mean, and there's all these like little tweaks, and it's amazing the litigation of this game is the kickoffs. So they're now talking about having the touchback at the 35-yard line.
Okay. Is that 5 yards? Is
That's
that the
a
30?
big
Is that
deal.
the 30 now?
Yeah, that's a big deal. Because I think they want to try
They
to
want the ball in the landing
Well,
zone?
they wanted to switch. They may not even go back to that. Because they still need to figure out what to do with the onside kick. Because they need to tweak the onside kick because the onside kick, you can't convert it.
What was it's kind of gimmicky. What was the onside kick they were talking about? You could get the ball like 4th and 20
You
or
get
something?
one, 15, 4th and 15. You get one play.
What do you think about that?
I think it's gimmick. I mean, like you get the ball if you do that. Nah.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd rather have the onside kick?
Yes.
The onside kick gives you like a 3% chance.
I guess if you did it,
You got to give the team like 10% chance.
so I guess if you did it from your own 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Right? Because now at least you're back. Like if you get the ball, you convert it. You still gotta navigate a good portion of the field.
Yeah. And the other team is automatically
I can
in
think
field
about
goal
it. It's
position.
pretty radical, but I can think about that.
I would like that because right now the onside kick. If you're the
dead.
team that's down, you have
Yeah.
almost no hope.
It's dead. It's dead. All right, we got from the editor's desk. Our man Pat McClune.
Patty.
Every Thursday, he's going to join us coming up next, and then we're going to hear from Films, Kevin Negandhi. We got all kinds of stuff happening on this Thursday. Let's talk about Ruffman. Our friends over at Ruffman. Yes, Ruffman Orthopedics. Joints aching, hands cramping,
Always.
back out of whack. Rothman's got you at Rothman Orthopedics. Practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high-quality, compassionate, affordable care rooted in research. Research leading to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doc is laser-focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it, shoulder, elbow, whatever it is. They have a team for each body part right here in our backyard. All right? So you can, cross over to defense. You can you can throw with your 11-year-old, all right, without having your shoulder like, oh, man, my shoulder's killing me, all right? All right, they're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. I'm still sore, man.
I can tell.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
You're not throwing as many punches into Frazier's arm these days. Short shoulder, it looks
Thank
like.
God.
Yeah.
I'll be ready for you. For more than 50 years,
anything.
Rothman has participated in thousands of groundbreaking research and clinical trials. The goal of advancing knowledge, developing treatments, and improving outcomes for the benefit of our patients. Rothman Orthopedics specializes in orthopedics, and you visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today.
All right, let's talk about our friends over at Ace Hardware Home Services. I'm about to call them today because I'm trying to hang a hat rack in my closet. It's 2 screws, but that's a little overwhelming for even me. So if you're like me, you got a home and you need repairs, Ace Hardware Home Services got you. You got a leaky pipe at Ace Hardware Home Services. They're around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the right people to do the job. Air conditioning or heating issue, they got a person for that. How about a faucet that won't stop dripping? They got a person for that. Because now Ace is not just the helpful hardware folks, they're also the helpful home service and repair folks. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they got trusted pros to keep your house humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing the helpful home, thankfully, the helpful you love from the store right to your front door. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next home repair project.
All right.
A hat rack? Really?
Yeah, dude, my hats are such a mess.
2 screws. You can't do that?
Yeah, it's intimidating for me.
Oh, man.
It's not even just 2 screws. You got to put the anchors in. I saw.
Yeah, they're hard.
Andrew and Joey.
They're not hard to put
Bro
in.
was trying to put in some
You know
anchors
we-
last week. It was a disaster.
You know what we need to do? All right, we for show. All right, VG and I are going to come up with a list of our homes. All right, and you two will be the dynamic duo
Okay.
to achieve the goal, showing your prowess as great home repairmen.
This sounds like free labor.
All right,
Yeah, that's what it does.
you will be plied with beers.
Okay.
You will be plied with food.
All right.
All right. You get the best of it, man.
Hey,
all right.
let's do
We're
it.
going to give you the to-do list. The one that I get that I don't ever look at, I'm just going to go pass right to you guys. All right. Hat rack for VG.
Yeah.
How many hats do you have?
I don't know, like 40.
40 hats?
Probably. I mean, I
You
only,
got
I
more
only
than
wear
40
like
hats.
20 in rotation, like 15 to 20.
You got a 20 in rotation. Yeah.
How do you
I got,
store them?
got my opening day one ready to go. I love it.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ready to go.
He's a cap guy.
The velour?
Well, us bald guys tend to be cap guys, you know?
Yeah.
You get sunburned
look
once
good
on
a
your
cap.
head. You always wear the hat in the summer to protect
Really?
you. And then in
Yeah.
the cold, it's cold without something on your head.
Yeah.
I get
yeah.
those old men who had the nightcaps when they sleep in their pajamas.
Yeah.
Some nights I'll throw a
You
hat
do
on
that?
because I'm cold, man. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude.
You sleep with the nightcap on?
Sometimes I'll throw a beanie on.
That's worse than Ian Rappaport calling security because Jordan Schultz
saw-
threatened him at the combine yesterday.
all that.
Which
At a
we gotta talk
Starbucks.
about.
At a Starbucks.
Oh my! No, I think it was actually at the combine.
Yeah.
Or- yeah. I don't know. His father.
No, it was
owned-
it was at a
it was at the Starbucks.
yeah, because his
His
dad
father
owns
owns
Starbucks. That was part of the
Starbucks.
story. Yeah, his dad owns Starbucks.
Yeah.
Part of the story.
Can you imagine your father owns Starbucks and you want to be an NFL insider?
Yeah.
God bless you, man. That's all.
Go with the beans, man. Go with the beans.
Really?
If my dad owned Starbucks, I'd be retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, come on.
Let's go to our man who was not born on third base. That's for
He
sure.
might be a nightcap guy.
He's not wearing a hat in bed. No way. The great Pat McClune from the editor's desk.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
This, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea, it's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
Hey, listen up, VG. I don't have much going for me, but I have a solid head of hair, brother.
I know.
They're just fine in the rack for me. All
None
right.
of you know the pain of being cold, trying to save a little money with the heat turned down when you're sleeping. Got to throw the hat on.
Hey, I got to ask it. Because did you see the story about Ian Rappaport and Jordan Schultz yesterday?
Not until you just said it.
All
Not
right.
Until you just said it. Oh my God.
All right. First of all, Ian Rappaport calls for security. How weak is that? But you came from an era where reporters used to brawl.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite was Conlon got clocked in a press box, got knocked out, stone cold knocked out. And what happened was Ralph Bernstein, rest his soul, the AP guy, he got in a beef with some other guy. I don't even know who he was. And Conlon stood in front of the guy and Ralph to protect Ralph. The guy drops Conlon. Boom. He's out in the press box, out cold. And so then my the sports editor at the time under Mike Rath, it was Brian Toolin, a great friend of mine. They, the company felt like they had to press charges or something. And so they went to Ralph and said, look, Ralph, we need, we're going to, kind of challenge this guy. And Ralph said, hey, keep me out of it. Keep me out of it. Thanks, Ralph. Conlon stood in front of the guy for you. And Ralph bails when they needed him.
Oh my God! Who's you don't remember who the guy was?
I don't remember. I don't think he wasn't a name I remember. Yeah. It wasn't somebody like It wasn't like Bob Ford dropped Conlon or anybody like that. Yeah.
But didn't Conlon get into a bunch of fight in the vet in the bowels of the vet with a
He
Phillies?
got into it with Harry. He got into it with everyone. Yeah.
They used to fight back then, like fist fight in the bowels of the vet.
Conlon's a heavyweight too. He's a big boy.
It's unbelievable.
Yes, he was. Down went Conlon.
All right. Without further ado, my brother, did you hear? By the way, did you see that CBS thing talking about Hurts?
I always. Andrew's nice. I get the link and I jump on at the beginning. I listen so much to begin with, but I want to hear what's going on before I get set up. And, I heard it when you did it. I don't know why they didn't talk about Will Levis. I mean, Will Levis, you got to go with Will Levis over Hurts. I mean, he got held back at Penn State. The best days are ahead. What I would do if I were the Eagles with how he is, I'd strike now, see what you get for Hurts. Maybe they could get Tyrod Taylor to come in and quarterback. I mean, honest to God. And the other thing that stood out to me about that, Anthony, was I think the guy in the one end is named Pete Prisco.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't been right since the Reagan administration. I mean, you can want a clip of that guy's year related to the Eagles. It's unbelievable. And he's one of these guys that keeps doubling and tripling and quadrupling down and being wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. Even a bullheaded guy like Skip Bayless, at some point, you got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I'm so with you, man. I saw that yesterday. I go, this is absurd. This is, I hate to go back to yesterday because sometimes you and I can go that route. But I miss thoughtful journalism, thoughtful discussion. Pieces that you would do think pieces in the Daily News that would make for great bar discussions, interesting, the way it was supposed to be, right? Where, back in your native land where you pour a Guinness and you have great, intellectual conversations. And we just do it with sports. And this is just dumb.
Yeah, and I get that they don't want 3 or 4 poorly dressed sports writers around the great Michael Barkan. But, Daily News Live, that stands the test over the years. If you stack that up against some of the stuff that's on there now, Daily News Live looks pretty goddamn good.
It was.
Love that show.
Amen, brother. Amen. All right. Without further ado, the headlines of the week.
All right, fellas. We have a little mixed bag. We have Sixers, Eagles, NHL, college hoops, and sports gizmos.
Wow, sports gizmos.
I love a gizmo.
That.
I love the word gizmo.
If I say gizmo, you say?
Henry Williams. Henry
yes,
Gizmo Williams.
Gizmo Williams. Yes, from the CFL.
Yes.
All right, this is great. Let's get him out of the way.
Please.
Sixers.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not going to just go with any run-of-the-mill conversation to say that they stink. We got to put it in some perspective. And our Sixers headline is, I owe it to, when I was doing sports betting there for a while, the guy that I dealt with the most, a writer, was a real gentleman and a good dude named Sweet Lou Monaco. And whenever something went just haywire like that Hurts thing, Lou always fell back on his heritage in this word, and it's our headline for the Sixers, disgrazia.
I love it. Disgrazia. Oh, it's fantastic. Disgrace. Disgraziad is well. My mother would say that to me every once in a while.
She would?
She'd come in my room and say disgraziad.
Because it was a
mess.
pen?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you redeemed. Grandma is very proud of her grandson now. I guarantee you that.
Tires, 2 for $25. Nice.
I love that.
Yeah. Now, this kind of foreshadows what. When I saw that the score was like they were down 50 the other day, so I screen grabbed it and, out of frustration, send it to my good friend Anthony Gargano. And Anthony comes back and says, 72-73 Sixers. And I said, I can compare these two teams, and I'll compare this team unfavorably to the worst team in NBA history. Do you want me to do that? And Anthony said, sure. So that's why we're going here. Now, to explain to people the stuff there, we're going to talk about the worst team in NBA history, the 72-73 Sixers. And I'm going to make the case that they were certainly, for fans, it was a better experience than what we're getting now. And one of the things on that headline there was they had the Eagles, Flyers. They had the Blazers up there, showing how the Blazers are doing on that one on the right. That is the World Hockey League franchise in Philadelphia, the Blazers, with Bernie Parent in goal. And then the other headline is, Jack Kaiser covered the Sixers back then. He covered mostly horse racing, but he did a real good job covering Wilt and all that back in the years. 72, 73, I'm in 7th grade, but years later, Jack was still there when I started. 76ers, a nightmare in slow motion. But let me say this, boys. If I was a fan sitting there right now with the hand the Sixers have and the hand that they had back then, I don't know. I mean, now, I guess things could miraculously clear up for Embiid, and as much as people are taking shots or whatever, it's horrible if the guy's that hurt that even an operation isn't going to help him, and maybe the career went from 36 points a game to being totally ineffective. So it's not the day to bash that. It seems to me like the Sixers had no hold on that. But, this team's trotting out on paper Embiid, Maxey, and Podcast P. And that 72-73 Sixers team, they got better every year after that, and we're in the NBA Finals in 4 years. I don't see that kind of arc for this team. They got Doug Collins. They had some advantages because they eventually got the ABA folded. They got George McGinnis, who was the MVP of the league first. They got Doc the next year. But the NBA is not built like that. You can't do stuff like that in the league. I get it. You can't just say, I'm trading Paul George for a second-round pick. So I feel like they're kind of handcuffed. That 72-73 team, the best, he called himself the best player on the worst team ever, was the great Fred Mad Dog Carter, who wound up being a terrific coach for the Sixers and a real good color analyst. And most importantly, he is the father of a terrific journalist and good friend named Aaron Carter, who's still with the Inquirer, who I hired. Not anybody can replace Ted Solari. So Aaron Carter was deemed worthy and Ted approved. So I got nothing to say but good things for our man Aaron.
Hey, real quick.
Aaron's an old school guy watching this, Anthony. This stuff drives him crazy.
Hey, real quick. Freddie Carter. I'm playing ball. I forget where it was. Freddie Carter. It's just me and Fred Carter in this gym. Wow. And I go, let's play horse or whatever it was, right? I think it was horse. So he waits till I get the S. And I have to be 9 years old, right? And I got the big afro, right? I every day I think I'm the doc. He says, all right, it's tied up. SS. and he goes in and he jams it.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
I played horse against Doc once.
No.
Just me and Doc. And it shows you how different the players are at these years. What happened was Doc had announced he was retiring, and he had a victory lap season.
Yeah, you get the rocket chair from the rocket chair from Milwaukee.
Yes, all that stuff. And we wanted to do something special, so we did a special section on Julius. And back then, I was a special section editor. And I wanted a photo of Julius walking away for the cover. And we couldn't get it organically out of the games. So we asked the Sixers if Doc would do that photo for us. And they were working out at St. Joe's at the time. Julius shows up on an off day in full uniform.
What?
And agrees to do it. And when he gets there, the photographer, a great guy who just retired, Steve Falk, says, I'm sorry, but I need like 20 minutes to set up the lighting. And so Phil Jasner, me, and Doc are there. And we need 20 minutes to do it. And so Phil says, Pat used to play. And he says, is that right? You want to play horse? No, I'm not dumb. Of course I want to play horse.
Wow.
So I'm in my 20s. We go out there. I throw one up from distance. It goes in. I think I got the H. And then Doc, he wasn't going to dunk on me. I said, well, we can't do that. Doc did this bizarre thing with his hands. Now there's bones involved. He wrapped his arms around like they were made of rubber, and it came out like this, and he laid it up. And I'm like, oh, man, that was all over. But he was such a gentleman about it, and to think these athletes today, he agreed to do that just so the Daily News could have the right photo for our cover. So I always give him credit.
Wow, it's a different world. Just this, and you can't even blame the athletes today. It's just, it became so much bigger. It became like Hollywood, and that's the shame of it. Like that you would have the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James of his day, right, calling it quits, and he would come on an off day in uniform to have a picture for a newspaper.
Yeah. Nobody with him. He didn't even have a PR guy with him. He just showed up on his own. Came in a gin bag, went into the locker room, changed into uniform, and said, let's go.
That's so awesome. That's a great story. Great story, man. All right.
Eagles, NHL, college hoops, or sports gizmos?
All right. Let's go Birds.
Okay. Now, our headline on this is the defense never rests. And I heard you bring it up with Baldy.
Nice.
I heard you bring it up with Baldy. But how great was it that the team shows up on the Thursday before the parade? For the people who don't know this, they show up and they get together because there's going to be a gigantic parade the next day, and there's logistics involved, and the players need to know where to be and what to do. They go over all of that. And then since they're gathered, I guess procedure is the offense goes one way, the defense goes the other. And so somebody says offense, and somebody makes a decision. We're good. See you, fellas. See you tomorrow. Off they go. Defense, good. And Vic says, no, whoa, no. In the meeting room. Let's go. Into the meeting room. And lambastes this great defense because it was unacceptable that they gave up 22 points in the second half. I can't tell you how much I love that. And he didn't care that Worthy was blowing by Tristan McCullum to get that one of those touchdowns. Tristan McCullum is a guy that Fangio likes and trusts, and he's part of the defense, and that defense gave up 22 points, and can't have that. Can't have that. And it makes me wonder, Anthony, with an off season of this and a young team, what can Vic dial up with this defense next year?
Oh,
got a chance to be so special.
You're so right. And here's the beauty of it, right? Is that, and he's brilliant because you set the tone now. Like everybody's feeling great about themselves and the whole thing, and he gets it. And, I'm sure he gave him love at some point. But that little thing that they talked about and go, no, this is unacceptable, it sets the tone, the culture for next year, and it wards against the disease of me, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you just see so many subtle things. The culture of that organization, for somebody that's, been involved in a company that changed hands so much. And I love following the culture of that stuff. And that stuff just can't be, details matter. And that's what he's saying there, look out. They could be, they could really be something special this season.
They can be. I love it. I can't wait. When does the season start? Let's go.
Oh, here we go.
Kick off.
Well, and that defense is going to have to be good because they have like Rick Arrington or somebody at quarterback. I don't know what his name is.
Really? That's so bad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go NHL.
NHL. And our headline here is Target Goal, the Great One.
Wow.
And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Ovechkin. I think it's a really great story going on in the league. It's amazing.
So,
and there's
go ahead.
some
I'm
things
sorry.
about, people, you can be great and underrated. And I almost think the sports world underrates Wayne Gretzky. It's ridiculous what he did. He's like the ultimate great one. And I'll fight anybody over Michael Jordan, but the baseball slowed him down. Gretzky's unbelievable. To this day, in points, Gretzky is 936 points ahead of number 2, Jaromir Jagr. 936.
Who just retired after 50 years.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Jagr was 54, I think. Assists. Gretzky, the number 2 guy is Ron Francis, who I think rolled up a lot with the Whalers and the Rangers. 714 assists, better than anybody. But yet Ovechkin is making an assault on Gretzky in the goals. I think that when he left the league, Gretzky had 61 records. And that has to be at least 30 years ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pat, I might be wrong.
He still holds either 55 or 57 of them.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong, but I think if you remove his goals, he's still the point leader in the NHL, like in the history, Gretzky.
Oh, I'd have to do the math, but that's interesting, VG. That could be. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, this Ovechkin, he got slowed down, but, he's got a real shot to get it done here. He's 12 behind. I think that he's got 23 games left, something like that. And he's been sniping for a long time, Ovechkin is 50. He's a sniper. He's 56th all time in assists. He's a goal man. He's the guy you got to get it to, And he's got like 1,200 assists less than Gretzky, but he's bearing in on the goals. And, it's pretty amazing.
It's a great story. Did I not bring him up earlier in the week?
Yep.
So I don't know if you saw the game on Sunday. It was a light sports day. I was all in on watching the Caps, and he gets a hat trick. And the place goes bananas. It was actually awesome. It was great.
Yep.
And I'm watching Ovechkin, and he's got the hot young wife, and he's got his son, and he's cool as all can be, man. Like, the dude is just cool. And he was on a power play he didn't get off the ice. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. The second longest shift in the NHL this season. He didn't get off the ice. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. He's on the ice. He's the greatest. And all he wants to do is score. Like, I love it. He's the best. And you're right about Gretzky. We forget about, we talk about home runs and we talk about points in the NBA. I mean, what he's done, like, he is the ultimate great player. No one's dominated a sport the way he dominated that sport.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the other one about him that really jumped off at me is that 5 players in NHL history have had 100 points in a season. 4 of them did it once. Kucherov and McDavid, who are both active, hit exactly 100. And Mario Lemieux and Bobby Orr did it once. Gretzky did it 11 times. 11 times.
Hey, Pat, I just did the math. If you remove all of Gretzky's goals, he still leads Yager in points all time by 42. That is crazy.
Wow.
If you remove his 936 goals.
Oh, my God. Well, that Edmonton team. What was that, Edmonton? That's why one of the greatest underrated runs in Philadelphia sports was the 7-game series against Edmonton that they lost. They had the J.J. Daniel goal in Game 6 to force Game 7. And Game 7 was a nail-biter. It was a Sunday afternoon.
That was Hextall's. It was Hextall, right? His finest moment. He was
what was the temperature?
in that series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great. That was amazing.
I've been waiting for weeks. I've been waiting for weeks for the right time for Ovechkin, and I didn't want to do it when he was right on the precipice. But like you, Anthony, when I saw he had a hat trick on Sunday, and now that the Eagles are over, I said, it's time to come Ovechkin. So definitely needed to talk about that.
Love it. See, this is why I love this segment. He's a sportsman, all right? We don't have enough sportsmen. How about college hoop?
All right, college hoops. Our headline there is, so you're saying there's a chance. And I wanted to talk about the local hoops, but I couldn't do it without singing the praises of Fran Duffy.
Yeah.
Who's sitting down at LaSalle. And, you know, you look at a team there that might be like 13 and 15 and you think, so what? But my God, there aren't 5 people on the earth that could get that talent to what he's done. And, you know, even when the thing about Dumph is if you say something to somebody in the business, and I did this recently, like I sent it, you know, as you know, go back with the head coach at Iowa. I sent it to Franny, and everybody has the same response. Great coach, better guy.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and I never really talked to him about this, but I swear to God, I think Dumph has a photographic memory. I mean, he will pull out guys that like, he'll remember one of my son's names that played at Bonner in like 15 years ago and remember who they are. And he seems to be able to do that in a lot of things. So
that's awesome.
He's been great. And it brings up this thing, and I want to talk about the positive of where they can go. But locally, we could be looking at possibly 3 head coaching jobs to be filled. You know, obviously LaSalle has to find somebody to see if they can tilt against windmills and do something at my alma mater. You know, Neptune's got to be in trouble at Villanova. Okay.
It has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and another guy that's like a core Philadelphia, came up, played, coached, did everything, has proven himself as a good coach. But Stevie Donahue at Penn, that Penn's been down a little bit. So, you know, I you know, would hate for it to end that way. But I guess, you know, Penn might have to make some decisions too. There could be some major changes.
Penn's been getting crushed in the portal. I mean, they get Ivy kids and they have a couple good years. Stevie's lost a couple of really good players over the last 2 years.
That's the problem.
It's decimated his
I mean, that's the problem for Stevie is that, and he's a great coach.
Yeah,
he's
a
really
really
is.
good coach.
And he's proven it. He's proven it over the years in his win-loss record. He's an absolute stone-cold, great coach that a lot of people look up to and have learned from. But, you know, I just worry that over time that, you know, they're just going to say, let's try something else. And VG, your point about the guys they lose in the portal and all are great. You know, Villanova's trotting out two of their starters are a guy from Penn and a guy from LaSalle.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what you do.
The headline there, guys, is so you're saying there's a chance, and there is. Looks like we're headed to another year with no one in the tournament, but Villanova almost flamed out spectacularly, which had the editor's desk scrambling to legitimize this, but they came back and beat Seton Hall. That was some really bad ball. I mean, that guy's a great coach, Shaheen Holloway. He's got nothing.
Yeah.
They went about 9 minutes and couldn't score a basket. But if they win over the weekend against Butler At home, doable. At Georgetown, a little tougher, but doable. They go into the Big East tournament at 19-12. You get the first one, probably not, but maybe if you get one or two there, Villanova is not out of it yet. I don't think.
Yeah. No, well, you got to make. I think you have to win at least two.
Okay. And the other one is that I wouldn't count St. Joe's out winning that league.
Yeah.
They have the talent. They're the kind of team that can beat anybody and then lose to the worst team in the league. You know?
Yeah.
They have a guy, Rasheer Fleming, who's on everybody's mock draft board. So they got the talent. And the teams to beat are VCU and George Mason. St. Joe's lost by 1 at George Mason, and they lost by 9 to VCU. VCU gets knocked off, and they have a shot. They have a shot.
No, I think you're right. I do. George Mason, I think of. By George Vern Lundquist. That run, remember that run? That was the best.
Yes, Warren Egan.
Yeah.
Got him the job at Miami. That was terrific. Yeah.
Yes.
Fairfax, Virginia, I think.
Well, that's good memory right there. All right, sports gizmos.
Sports gizmos. And I did this headline for the express purpose of maybe having VG sing it for us. I probably should have told him in the beginning. Our headline for Sports Gizmos is changes. Okay?
Oh.
Changes.
Turning faces, changes.
Don't encourage him.
There you go. I don't think David Bowie's coming to Parks anytime soon, but some of the acts they have there look like they're winners. Good night out. And what I want to do with Sports Gizmos is I want to throw about 3 different things out at you and tell me whether you're in or not. And I heard you not being in on the overtime and stuff. The first one is VG and Anthony. Are you in for a shot clock in high school basketball?
I am.
Wow. Yes.
I am too.
Yes.
After this past week, I saw they were holding the ball for almost 2 minutes.
You have to do it. Yeah. You got to do it.
That was an homage to Bill Fox, judge scoring 32 points.
Yep.
What a great man and great coach. He lost the battle to ALS, but boy, back in the day, that was a Catholic North struggle. You get a Ryan. Those games were 36-34. I believe as part of the highest scoring team in LaSalle High School history. Not that we were that good, but we played the game at high speeds. The game is meant to be played at high speeds. And I think it might be a kind of tough for teams that don't have enough help and stuff like that to enforce and stuff, the shot clock. But boy, and that's another thing that Aaron Carter and he's a huge proponent. He covered the high schools of a shot clock and high school basketball could be an interesting thing.
Yeah, I like it.
And by the way, while we're talking youth hoops, Anthony, at the next practice for St. Margaret's, get that step ladder out there from Masa's club. And get that tape measure and measure the rim in honor of the great Gene Hackman.
I know. I can't believe it. I love Gene Hackman, man.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
We were talking about it earlier, man. I like. He's the best, man. And
watch anything
Popeye
he does.
Doyle and French Connection. Oh man.
Oh my God.
Boy.
He was the best. He was amazing.
Hey, Pat, real quick. I always love the candles behind you. Color coordinating today? You got the maroon behind you with the maroon shirt.
Oh, I slap on whatever's in the closet, Yeah. Yeah. And the candles are, I probably have the most boring background of any of your speakers. But
the candles switch up from time to time. I like it.
Yeah. I might occasionally throw you a can. I might ask Tracy to get maybe a candle shake up every now and then to kind of see if each notices.
I'll notice.
But
hey,
okay,
way,
so that's one.
Real
the
quick.
Second one is this
real quick. Tony the Ref said the Friends League has the shot clock for the last 2 seasons.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. How about that? I wonder how that's going. Boy, they certainly have the resources for it, but that's cool. Okay. I know it's what we grew up with and sad, but does the NFL really still need to have two guys standing 10 yards apart in chains?
I like those guys.
Isn't it time for a gizmo to come up that, when you get when the ball goes over, boop, something beeps and they got the first down? I think it's time to move on from the chain gang.
No, you're taking people's jobs, man. This is the guy who pays tolls still.
Cash. Wait, listen.
It's so funny you say that, VG. I am totally with you. In fact, I'm going to invoke that for the third thing, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I love the chains. I do the chains.
Yeah, you got pictures. You with the chains.
I do the chains all the time. If I'm not coaching, I do the chains.
Yeah,
I'll do it. I love the chains.
Okay. You see that line. You can't. I've heard people say younger people go to a game and they're wondering why there's no line there on the field to show you how far they need for a first down. That they, the TV line that didn't exist 40 years ago to show you and all. So maybe it's time for the chain gang. All right.
I love the chain gang. Hey, we unfortunately Kevin Negandhi is on, and he's got a hard out.
Yep.
So what's your last one, real quick?
Just real quick, I hate to see them lose jobs, but I'm worried that home plate umpire is going to go away over the next couple of years.
I know. I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right. My brother, listen, you're not with us next week. Next week, you're in spring training.
I'm going down to spring training with my wife, and I'll be back the week after that.
Nice.
Much deserved. Yeah. Have many beers for us. All right?
That I will do.
I love you. You're the man.
I'll find the Frenchies, and I'll do it.
I love it.
Good luck with Kevin.
Thanks, buddy. Here he is, the great Pat McClune from the editor's desk. All right, this portion of the program brought to you by Rite Aid, riteaid.com/PHLY for the store pharmacy nearest you. From ESPN and ABC. What? No? No. Well, I rushed Pat to go right to him. All right. All right. Let's talk about Parks Casino. Street Road, Ben Salem, Parks Casino. Yes, the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Last night, didn't your Central Florida win?
Nah, they choked. They lost by the hook. They missed free throws with like 3 seconds left. Yes.
I was thinking of it. I saw that. I was like,
they won by 4. I had them at 4.5.
Oh, no.
And they missed free throws at the end.
I remember. I saw they were up.
You hit with Temple. I had Temple because of you.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Sixers covered.
They did.
Right? So that was it.
They didn't cover. The Knicks did not get the team over.
They didn't get the team over. That was a loser.
Yes.
The only thing that I think hit, because I think he had a bunch of rebounds, was Josh Hart. Remember I said Josh Hart over rebounds? Which is so stupid. But you can do all that stuff on the Bet Park Sportsbook Online Casino app. We'll have some plays for you later. I go back to the Flyers again. As long as Earson's got to start. All right? If it's Fedotov, I don't want to. I don't
just
want to
go
do
game over, right? Total.
Right. So I just want to go Flyers. All right? Anyway, enjoy it all. The online blackjack casino, the online roulette and craps, live dealers, man. VG does it all the time. All the hot online slots like Rocky and Peaky Blinders. Check it all out. It's a blast. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. BetParks.com has all the details. Like you get $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, or Maryland. The Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Download it right now. We got him. Let's go to our man, Kevin Negandhi from ABC and ESPN. Good morning, Kevin. Whoa, look at that.
Whoa, man. Looking
That's
good.
a hoodie.
Wow.
Hey, listen, shout out to Philly Goat. They sent me a whole bunch of gear, and I love this thing. I've been wearing it for a few days. I'm not shy about it.
It looks good on you, buddy.
I like the silver fly.
I love it.
Kelly Greens, man, and Philly Goat, like all these companies based in the city, based around all our love for Philly sports, man. Shout out to all them, man. They all nail it. They all get it. They understand. They understand what we want.
Yep.
Well, I mean, what's awesome about it is like it's such a great community thing. Like you walk around town and everybody's got it on, right? Everybody's wearing it. It's so cool, man. It's
and to your point, like the day Howie got hit in the head, right at the parade with that little mark, and he said, "I bleed for this city." I took a picture, a snapshot. I said, "Put it on a shirt." And the responses I got on social media, they're like, "Philly Goat already got it. Philly Goat already got it." Like everybody understands at the local community. We're going to make it a shirt no matter what. And I got it upstairs, this Howie shirt where he's got the cut on it. But everybody understands and knows. And the people at Philly Goat took care of me.
It's awesome. I love it. I think that's fantastic. All right. You got to get out of here. What time? 25?
Yeah, I got another Zoom at 10:30. Sorry.
All right. No. It's we just want to make sure what we're covering. All right. So let's go through. First, let's start Combine, all right? Because you are Kyle's football man, all right?
Let's go.
And I'm going quarterbacks. I disagree with our own Fran Duffy, who ranked the quarterbacks, and he had my boy Kyle McCord at 10, and I think that's ridiculous, all right? And I talked to a GM who said that Kyle. Now I'm a big local guy. Like I want all our local kids to do well. But I heard that he's a riser. He and Jackson Dart's actually a riser too. Kid from Louisville, everybody really likes. But that Kyle could go maybe third, outside chance at second if there's a run on quarterbacks.
You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks taken in the second and third round. A lot of quarterbacks, and that's when you can do a flyer. You'll see some guys that'll go in the fourth round, fifth round. You'll probably find a ton of value on day 3. But I'd like to see Fran's list. I may pull it up while we're talking because I'd love to see the 9 quarterbacks ahead of him because I like Kyle McCord. I could see Kyle being rated as one of the top 5, the 5th quarterback. What has pushed Kyle down is the buzz with Shuck. Shuck is one of those guys that he started at Oregon, went to Texas Tech. He gets it. He understands. He's seen a lot of football.
He's about 35 years old.
He is old. Yeah, he's 25. He gets in the right system, right? If you get in the right system, that's all that matters. You could find a way. So you're going to see a couple of these guys flame out, and some of these guys, if Kyle McCord, let's just hypothetically say Kyle McCord drops, right? But a team like the Chiefs takes a flyer on him, his growth is to the moon because he's with the right system. So if you are one of those quarterbacks that's going to be a late second day or even third day, to me, I don't care where I'm picked. I want to now go to the right place. He has Riley Leonard 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
No. Will Howard. No.
I don't agree with Quinn Ewers being fixed.
I hate Quinn. Listen, you remember me railing on Ewers all season long?
He just doesn't have it.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't like this list.
And Jackson, by the way, Jackson Dart coming from Lane's system. I talked to multiple guys, and I wanted to know. And at one point, after the Senior Bowl, they were like, "He's our 3rd best quarterback," and I'm like, "We'll see how this plays out." I said, well, "Unfortunately, if you put the film on with Jackson Dart against Florida, you're going to be like, whoa," because it wasn't good. He forced a lot. He doesn't have a strong, powerful arm, but he can throw.
Here's the problem with him too.
The passing concepts.
Here's the problem with him though. And this is to Kyle's point. How many Syracuse receivers are in Indianapolis right now?
Gadsden, right? Like Aronde Gadsden's going to be there, right? I think.
He's not there, but that's okay. But you get my point.
He's not?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. He had nobody. Ole Miss had the best offense money could buy.
Yeah, you're right. They had 2 talented wide receivers. One was hurt majority of the season, but man, they had wide receivers that And Lane's offense is so helpful for the quarterback. Like, but that's a great point. Like, I would have Kyle just off the top of my head, probably 5th, 6th, and he's the type of guy that's going to win interviews.
Yeah. So I did hear the Saints interviewed him yesterday, and they're going to interview him again on Friday. So I know Kellen likes him a lot.
Kellen, that's important. He's with a guy that's quarterback friendly, that's aware of things. That plays a huge role, and it plays a huge role in development.
What do you think of Milroe, man? It's funny, man. Like when you see him at times, you go, "Oh my God, he could be Lamar 2.0." All right, and then you see him, you go, "Oh my God, he could just flame out and just burst into flames." Like you saw him against Michigan in the bowl game. Wow. Oh, it was bad. There was a couple games that were like, ooh.
Yeah, and then you see him against a team like Georgia, what he can do, and how he played early in the season. I think he's incredibly talented. He's humongous. Everybody that I've talked to about this that has seen him, and they talk about him, they compare him, they're like, he's huge. He just does not trust windows. He can't. And listen, this was the knock for Jalen early in his career. You got to trust the windows, throw to the windows, right? But man, physically, is a perfect example. If he's with the right system and the right coach, and you do not throw him to the Sharks, let him develop over a year or two, put him in short yardage situations, you could see him success and thrive. He's just got to trust throw. Because guess what? You brought up Michigan. Who's the DC at Michigan? Wink Martindale, right?
Yep.
And Wink coming from Baltimore, the Ravens, and the Giants as well, fully aware of how to actually handle situations defensively and give different looks. That could be a nightmare for a guy like, Jalen Milroe. But Jalen looks up to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe, one of his idols is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I knew that.
And so he's modeled his whole game around that concept. He can develop over time if he was with the right system. That's one of those guys you stash. You know who would be?
Hey, real quick, you would know this. Did he think about staying? Like, I mean, you got the NIL. I don't know why he should have stayed. He's another one. He so needed another year of growth.
Yeah, but I don't know the details, but my vibe was the way the season ended, the way he looked in some of those games in the final month and a half, there was a vibe that, hey, maybe it's best for both of us, program and the quarterback to move forward, And you know what? It didn't help, too, that Alabama's wide receivers, their top 6 wide receivers hit the portal. It didn't help that those guys, there was a lot of, they didn't mesh offensively. I think DeBoer's going to get it right. They got a freshman quarterback. Good Lord, he is going to be
where's he from?
I think this is a kid from California.
Yeah.
I think the kid is going to be really good.
Wow.
Yeah. DeBoer's offense?
Yeah. Because he'll get it right. I know he'll get it right.
Totally will get it right.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you. But it'll be different. That's the thing. It's going to be different. And you gotta Bama fans have to understand it will be different.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a diehard Bama fan last night, and at one point I said, your fan base was tough. He's like, I know, giving him the business on a shirt. And I said, because he wasn't winning. I said, but if people want him out, who are you going to bring in? That's the question. Like, Kalen DeBoer, if Kalen DeBoer hit the streets, he would be scooped up by so many programs because he's that good.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Can I while we do college football, I heard someone say on one of the shows, it may have been on ESPN, that there's not a lot of superstar talent on this draft, but it's deep. And from 10 to 40, there's not a lot of separation.
Yep.
Is that an accurate assessment?
DG, that is 100% accurate. You will find, and this actually helps the Eagles, you will find value literally in that second round and feel like, okay, if I had the 15th pick, I can actually feel comfortable making this pick at 35, right? I bring up 35 or whatever in the 30s because the Eagles sitting there at 32. Let's not forget what happened 7 years ago. They were sitting at 32 after winning the Super Bowl. The Ravens made a call. The Ravens jumped up and drafted Lamar Jackson with the 32nd pick. Why was that so important for the Ravens to do that? That 5th year. If you find a quarterback you fall in love with, let's just say on the back end, you see 2 quarterbacks go 1 and 2 or somewhere in the top 5, right? And then there's that third quarterback. And there's a team out there that wants to jump and you want to get that 5th year where the team option, that's so critical where you can get them, not pay them on that back end. Look at how that plays out specifically with the clocks where the 49ers have to get a deal with Brock Purdy, right? Because it's year number 4. He's the last pick of the draft. If they had that 5th year, you could ride that extra year and throw in a bunch of money for that window to win now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a team potentially, and Howie's going to pick up the phone and say, what do you got? What are you going to do?
I like it.
Abdul Carter.
Oh, so good.
I mean, we were talking about it earlier. I go, like, to me, if I'm Tennessee, I'm not dissuaded at all. He's the number 1 pick in the draft, and he's that good and that much of a monster.
He's freaking unbelievable. We're watching Micah Parsons, man.
Yeah.
All the way down to the number 11 wearing the Penn State uniform. Yeah. Like, just an absolute freak show. Like, he is awesome. And he's one of those guys in the draft when you need to, and you have a high pick, let's say 1, 2, you need to nail a generational talent. Abdul Carter is the generational talent. Travis Hunter is the same way. After that, there's a huge drop off on will you find a generational, franchise player compared to being a pretty good player, 10-year career. He can make, 6, 7 Pro Bowls. That's completely different. We're talking about all pro for the next 7 to 8 years. Stud, put him there. Don't worry about the position for the next 5 years.
Yeah, I'm so with you, man. That's why the shame of the injury, but I'm like, that should not affect him 1 iota.
Not 1 iota. And the guy was playing on one shoulder, and he was so freaking dominant in that Notre Dame game.
Did you see him walk it off every play? It was unbelievable. I mean, my God.
Physical contact. He's got a mean streak. He's a dude. He's one of us. He's an Eagles fan. Like, I love the story that he took his dad to the Super Bowl because they could celebrate. He goes, "This is my last game as an Eagles fan because I've got to, change teams when whoever drafts me." But I love that he said that yesterday. I took my dad. We went to the Super Bowl. It was my last game as an Eagles fan. Like, that's cool, man. He's one of us.
I'm so with you. Hey, before we get to the Sixers, I got to share this with you because you'll appreciate this. All right? So I'm going to sanitize it because I know people will have a problem because everybody's got a problem. But anyway, you know where I'm going. So my Massimo says, "Dad, let's go throw," right? Because he's quarterback, right? So let's go throw. And this is a couple days ago, and my friend Charlie gave him a high school ball that we work out with, right? So he's got big hands, and we work out with a high school ball. So it was a raw day. It was like cold. It was warmer, but it was still raw. And my man, I was like, we go over his deliveries forward. My man can crank it, right? And a couple times I caught it, and I went like this, and then I dropped one, and I went, damn, because my hand was stinging, right? Just one of those days where you catch your fingers wrong, right? And, hard ball. And he turns and he goes, "You dropped that? Don't be a pansy."
That's the best. Yo, that is the best.
I said, "What'd you say?"
Yeah.
And then he kind of looked at me. I said, "Get over here." And I gave him a big hug.
You want to know why? You want to know? That's it. The mentality. You got your mentality, Dad.
Yes.
It's not so much the words that were used. It's hey, come on, man up.
Yes.
Like, you got your mentality. There's nothing better. And like, there's nothing, you're probably reaching now, entering that phase where, listen, I always tell my boys they're my best friends.
Yeah.
But I'm still your dad.
Yes.
So
yes.
there's going to be times I'm not your friend because I'm your dad.
Right.
But in the end, you're reaching that point in his life that he's going to be best friends with you. And he could talk to you that way. And you're like, hey, all the things I've said to you, you've taken it like a sponge and now you're giving it back to me?
Yeah.
Nothing better.
It's the greatest, man. One day we got to talk about it because we have to start our thing. The dad, it's the freaking great. I freaking love it every day. We got a game tonight. We got basketball playoff start Saturday. He's got a doubleheader baseball game right after basketball. So I freaking love it.
And I'm 100% with you. I'll tell you offline this story I had with my 12-year-old on Sunday. It was the greatest thing in the world. I know our stories and parents and watching appreciate it. There's also an audience like, all right, your son's the greatest thing in the world. But like, there was something that happened with my 12-year-old on Sunday, and I humble bragged that for the last 48 hours.
Tell us.
For the Temple basketball team.
Tell us.
So he's not even like 5'1". He's 12 years old. We're playing travel ball. We're playing in these leagues where they got, dude, there's a kid in Bristol whose dad is a friend of mine who was a stud in college who's dunking. He's in 7th grade and dunking on everybody, all right? But my son played his game, and he's all heart, man, and he scored 13 points in the first half against this one team, a team that, they're basically comparable, right? He shut down on defense. He shut down this kid who thinks he's Steph Curry. And my son missed a game when this kid played last year. This kid dropped 33 points and beat our team. And then my son covered the next game. The next time they faced each other, didn't score 1 point. Not 1 point.
Wow.
So we're facing him again, right?
Negandhi.
And it's man to man. And he likes to get dirty. He loves to do the dirty stuff. But he dropped 13 points in the first half, covered this kid, shut this kid down. Kid didn't score a point. But they found another kid on the team, the opposing team, who was just crushing us, right? And my son went up to the coach in the second half and goes, let me cover him one-on-one. We're good. Kid didn't score another point. The second kid didn't score another point. And my boys' team won by 6. And, that's the proudest. We walked off the court. And then after that, he did 2.5 hours with another team trying out for them. And it was 2.5 hours just running because it was a travel team. And we drove home, and I was like, man, I'm so proud of you. And it's not anything about the box score. It's the leadership at 12 where you went to the coach and said, give me the next best player. I'm going to shut him down. I said, that's the team mentality. That value will go so much further. And I actually brought that up to the Temple basketball team on Tuesday night. Shout out, they won last night on a buzzer beater. My message to them was, you guys have lost 6 straight. I don't want to hear about it. Do your job. I got a 12-year-old that did this, and he cared about the team. He didn't care about his numbers.
Right.
And that's what you guys got to understand. Play for each other. Play for the win, not for the points. And it was great. It's great.
Your message worked. You and Coach Fish got to win.
Yeah, and I love Fish, and I love the program, and those kids are busting their butt. They play really, really hard. And I share this all because it's those relationships that we talk about with our kids, right?
Yeah, man.
Nothing makes me prouder of him doing that. I could care less about the 13 points. It's the mentality.
Without a doubt. All right, brother, I know you got a jet, but we'll go 1 minute on podcast P.
What are we doing? I'm glad he scored 25 points because Tyrese needs help, man. I'm glad he scored 25 points. But, I'm glad he got the message. The optics are absolutely awful. And you know what? Just protect Tyrese Maxey and let's get a top 6 pick. That's all I care about. Just get a top 6. This is a good draft, man. Get a top 6 pick and help Tyrese. That's all I care about. And then the offseason, we got to figure out what we're going to do because it's going to be a long offseason.
Yeah. And the roster's so bad. The coaching, the coaching's abysmal. He's gone.
I feel bad for him.
I don't.
I feel bad.
I don't feel bad for him. I don't. I can't stand him.
He hates him, Kevin. He hates
I'll be
him.
honest with you. I hate Nick Nurse. I'm going to just be real with you, right? Like, I don't like him. I think he's a fraud, all right? I see a team that has no business playing defense. They don't care about playing defense. They come out, they're not prepared. You can say all you want about Embiid. It's not his fault that it's a failure, but they come out unprepared all the time. They gave up 72 to Boston the first half, right after the break. They gave up 63 to the Brooklyn's trash. They gave up 75 to the Bulls all the first half. That's a team that he doesn't care. I can't stand him. I can't wait to get him out. Horrible coach. Let me go zone against the Celtics.
I feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him.
Hey, you know what? Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
I like it. Kev, great stuff. See you, brother.
Appreciate you, fellas. Be good.
See you, Kev.
I can't stand him. I can't
stand
him. Acting like a martyr while he's getting paid. What's he getting paid? $5 million a year?
He's more than that, ain't he?
Probably.
I would think he's probably getting like 10, I would think.
He's that much? The martyr that is Nick Nurse. Oh, please. Oh, my God. Can't stand you. I can't.
8.5 is what he's making.
8.5.
Yep.
But he's a martyr. Oh, not his fault. Poor Nick.
Yeah.
Oh. Why don't you take a cue from the other Nick that actually cares? Like he's freaking out. I see nothing. He's a freaking corpse on the sidelines.
Yeah. Give some of the fans some of that money for all the complaining.
He's a freaking corpse. Let me go zone against the Celtics.
Well, they're getting torched in man. What's he going to do?
Yeah, against Boston. Unbelievable. Oh, I can't stand the guy. I just can't stand him. All right. Golden Nugget Jewelers. Let's talk about our friends at Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. I was telling you a story about my wife. So Massimo, speaking of don't be a P, Massimo, his birthday's coming up. So my wife goes, listen, let's get him a dog tag. Mm-hmm. And you just learned out what they were, right? Like it's a gold dog tag. It's I had one when I was 13, and it has your name on it. It's Anthony. And so we're giving that to my Anthony, my oldest. So we'll get Massimo one for his birthday.
Will it say Moss or the whole?
No, I'll say Massimo. And it'll be the whole thing. And then, he likes the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure he does.
I'll have the chain, Massimo.
Yeah.
With the
Chain's a good look.
With the boot, right? Like he'll do it up. Like Joey. You got the dog tag too, Joey?
I had a better one, but we're in the ocean. I need an upgrade.
Joey's got the chain.
So do you pick it out, or will Moss want to pick his chain out?
No, my wife will do that.
Yeah?
No, she'll work with your own. So I can say, here, go see your own.
As big as you can get it from Moss. He wants a big chain.
Big Cuban.
Yeah, he wants a thick chain.
Yeah, big thick Cuban.
Oh my God, it's the best. Golden Nugget Jewelers, they have all the gift ideas that you need right in the heart of Jewelers Row, Center City. VG's going to get the sapphire.
I'm going to text him today or tomorrow to see what he says.
Baldy uses them. I've sent scores and scores of guys over to get engaged. Engagement rings are the greatest. I mean, seriously, some of the best stuff that you can get, and great deals on the largest selection of certified diamonds, the settings. I mean, you name it, he's got it. Go see him. You'll love your own. Golden Nugget Jewelers, the heart of Jewelers Row, right in Center City, 8th and Chestnut. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com. It's where Philly gets engaged. All right, let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. In fact, did you hear Pat gave it a shout out?
He did.
To go to Parks Casino, where everybody hangs out. It's the greatest. Let me get you the schedule of live entertainment. Because if you're looking for something to do weekend-wise, right, you go over to Parks. Mm-hmm. They have award-winning restaurants. The Parks Grill Steakhouse.
Noodle
Fabulous.
House.
Bamboo Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's. They got it on a beer garden.
All the goodies.
It's almost beer garden weather.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Know what this weather for me is?
Ooh, is right.
This is like I love. This is my Guinness weather.
I'm over the Guinness weather.
Well, March is Guinness.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's starting to get a little warmer. I've been drinking the Guinness for months now. Once it gets like a little brisk.
You gonna go for the summer
It's too
shandy?
soon to go. Like,
Summer shandy.
I'm a college. I like the tournament and Guinness.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love the beer and the Guinness. I'll be honest with you.
Can't catch a good enough buzz with the Guinness.
I'm sorry. I love the tournament and beer.
Yeah.
Like,
tournament beer is amazing.
To me, like
nothing like 12 hours a day drinking.
Right. Like my favorite thing is go and watch 12 o'clock, drink beers and watch basketball all day.
Yeah.
It really is the best. Action, headline, entertainment, you name it, concerts, comedy, MMA, boxing, all at the state-of-the-art Excite Center, plus thousands of slots, live table games, state-of-the-art sportsbook, beautiful poker room, collection of award-winning restaurants, Parks Casino. This is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Here we go. Tickets on sale now. March 7th, Scotty McCreery, American Idol.
Just give me 5 more minutes.
How about March 22nd, country star Lee Bryce?
There's a rumor going round about me and you.
I just saw on their site he's sold out.
Is he?
There you go.
Yeah, he ought to.
Lee
Joey's
Bryce.
going.
Yeah, all that singing we've been
Lee
doing.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Joey's
Are you?
going. Yeah, he loves them.
You're going? You want to go? We'll get you tickets.
I have seen him before.
You've seen Lee Bryce?
Yeah, at like the BB&T Pavilion in Jersey.
Really? Wow. April 24th, the band live.
I alone love you. I alone tempt you. Fear is not the end.
I've never heard that song.
You don't know that one?
No.
Am I on an
I
island?
know.
here?
No, I know. I just didn't know the lyrics. I let you solo that one.
That was a good solo.
Trying to
piece.
change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I like you changing it up. What else you got over there? You got any more?
I do. I got All American Rejects, which
What's that
is
song?
when you see my face, hope it gives you hell.
Hope it gives you hell. Yeah, there
When
you
you
go.
walk my way, hope it gives you hell. Hope it gives you hell.
You want to go?
All American Rejects. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we got you covered, Joe. You go. In fact, you'll be on the scene. All right?
Yeah. You got Warrant, April 5th. Heaven isn't too far away. Closer to it every day.
Music man.
He is.
I love this one. Clutch, June 14th.
Clutch.
Bang, 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 bang. Vamonos, vamonos. Oh, dude. Electric Worry by Clutch is a great song. I'll play it for you after the show.
Never heard that.
It's so good. It almost should be a goal song for the Flyers. It's so
really?
good. It's good, dude.
Get out.
Yeah. Everyone's
right.
singing bang,
Oh,
bang,
man.
bang, bang, vamonos, vamonos.
Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. This portion of the show is brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. Go to TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right. We were talking about Gene Hackman passing away.
Yeah.
So he was found, he and his wife and the dog were found
Crazy
dead
story.
early this morning.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was some sort of carbon monoxide. They don't know what the
Yeah, they're
cause is.
saying no foul play.
You know, it's awful. But I love Gene Hackman is the greatest.
Yes, he is.
He's one of these actors that doesn't make a bad movie.
No, he makes any movie decent.
Right.
As soon as he's in it, I'll watch it. If he's in it, I'll
All
watch
right,
it.
so I want to do a couple things. One, because I got a basketball game coming up. And the greatest sports movie ever
Yep.
is Hoosiers.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
There's no other great. It is #1. It is the greatest story. It is the great. As much as I love all the football ones, Hoosiers is #1. It's just a great story.
Totally
right?
agree.
He's
got that little paper he's always smacking.
Yeah, like he's a coach. Like he actually resonates as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who comes close to him as a coach that speaks reality to me is
Al Pacino.
No. Nick Nolte.
Oh,
Coach Pete Bell.
Yeah.
All right. Have you seen it? Did you guys see Do you think they saw it?
Yes. Yes.
If I say Nick Nolte as a basketball coach.
I know the name. I don't know the name of the movie, though.
Blue Chips?
Yeah.
Is it, okay.
Jimmy Boeheim's in that, my boy.
They're all in that. Everyone's in that. Neon Bedeau was? Who?
I don't know.
Shaq.
That's his name in that?
Yeah. Neon
It's
Bedeau.
been forever since I saw it.
I watch that. I watch it once a year.
Do you?
Yeah, I love Blue
I might have to
Chips.
go. I might have to revisit Blue Chips.
It's a great movie.
All right.
And Nick Nolte's fantastic as a coach. Like you feel like he's a coach.
He's another one. I'm a Nick Nolte fan.
I love Nick Nolte.
Yes.
I agree. But Hackman is a great, great actor. All right. So let's go the most iconic scene in Hoosiers. Here it is. I'm going to do this Saturday.
So good.
There's a tradition in tournament play. Not talk about the next step until you've climbed the one in front of you. I'm sure going to the state finals is beyond your wildest dreams, so let's just keep it right there. Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms, and remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals that we've gone over time and time again. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners. Okay? All right! Let's go! Let's go! Let me hear it! Go, 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 go!
Hickory
Let's go. Let's go. Paul George probably hurt his hand if he was
Hickory
clapping like
High.
that.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out, coach. You got to put Ollie in. The other great scene is when he measures the rim.
measuring is
He
epic.
gets the ladder. He's on the ladder.
It's great writing.
And it really is 10 feet. Like,
Yeah.
wow. It was so great.
What's the height? What do you got?
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah. Just like your gym back in Hickory. It's just phenomenal. I'm going to ask you this. So if you go through his IMDb, you can't find a bad movie.
He was great as Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Yes. He was on Crimson Tide.
The French Connection.
Oh, well, that's just outrageous.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the French Connection is unbelievable. The Firm. You ever see The Firm?
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable.
Awesome.
It's a great movie with Tom Cruise, and he's the lawyer, the mob lawyer. There's a great movie. My cousin's like, you got to watch this movie, and I watched it fairly recently, called The Conversation.
Oh, dude, that's
awesome. It's a great.
Is that Coppola?
Yeah, it's Coppola.
Power's good. Oh, Uncommon Valor, dude. When he takes a bunch of old Vietnam vets back to Vietnam to try and get some prisoners of war out.
Yes,
Great movie.
yes. He's so good. And I don't know. There was another great movie that nobody's seen. It was a little movie. I remember Tam and I went to the Ritz to see it. It's called Under Suspicion.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's him and Morgan Freeman. And he plays a wealthy guy who moves to Puerto Rico that gets accused of molesting a young girl. And him in the role, like, he was unbelievable. And Morgan Freeman, it was a murder of this girl. And he's the one that they believe did it.
Oh, I see it in the year 2000.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
One of my favorites, Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein is great.
I'm not even a Western guy. He was good in The Unforgiven.
Oh, he was incredible.
Mississippi Burning.
Yeah, like he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
Just an amazing actor. So I just wanted to give kind of pour one out for Gene. All right, a little bit earlier, let's go back to the combine because we sat with Fran Duffy. All right, early, a couple hours ago, getting ready for today's combine. So let's go to Franny right now. Oh, there he is. Franny Films live at the combine where he's talking to scouts, GMs. He's in the middle of football heaven. I'm so jelly. Give me some flavor.
So, and I'm here on Radio Row. It's a little quiet right now this early in the morning, but the DBs are getting ready to speak about 100 yards away from where I'm at right now. But you can see right down the line here at Radio Row. We got like 4 or 5 rows down the Indiana Convention Center. But yeah, it's busy every single day here. It's starting to pick up with the action picking up on the field today at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah, well, now the workouts will finally start to begin soon. You know, a lot of the league stuff. It's a big convention. What people don't realize is that it really is an NFL convention. The first time everybody's together, agents and teams, GMs, scouts. It's a big convention there.
Yeah, no question. I mean, people come out as early as Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get a lot of those meetings done. You know, obviously all the agents are here, all 32 teams, coaching staffs, personnel staffs, operations staffs. You know, video. I know, you know, football video. They have their convention with all 32 teams. Everybody across the entire NFL landscape and college football as well. A lot of college football representation here over the course of the week.
Give me the 3 things that stand out to you so far as we reached Combine Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, obviously, the first 2 days, you hear a lot from the head coaches and general managers. So all of that media availability is basically done. So, you know, look, we talked a lot about the big takeaways from Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, but I've heard from representation from basically every NFL team over the course of the last 48 hours. So a lot to take away there. But then as far as like the prospects, you know, I spoke with a lot of players from the front 7 yesterday. Obviously, we got the news about Abdul Carter and his fracture in his foot last night. Adam Schefter from ESPN breaking that news. I really don't anticipate that that's going to affect his draft stock much. I think he's still going to go top 3, top 4, potentially number 1. You know, to me, if the Tennessee Titans stay at the number 1 pick, I think the pick is Abdul Carter from Philadelphia going down to Nashville and playing for former Eagles defensive back coach Denard Wilson, the defensive coordinator there with the Titans. So I think when you look at Abdul Carter, my guess is that he's still going to go that high in the draft, despite the news from last night.
Again, and if you're a team like Tennessee, it's the right pick because it's about the future for you. We saw with Jalen Carter and having an interior monster on that D-line, it just makes such a huge difference. I'm a big believer in that as a building block.
Yeah, when you look at at Tennessee last year, and again, it's funny. A lot of the conversations I had earlier this week, and you're in on so many of these head coach and general manager press conferences. It's a lot of it. What can you take away from the Eagles and their Super Bowl win? And it's like, yeah, the thing is that it's not riveting football knowledge. Yeah, you want to win in the trenches, right? It's just that the Eagles have done it better than anybody. It's a tale as old as time. Like there's a reason why people say you want to win inside out. And so I do think every head coach and general manager is sick of probably being asked that question this week. But I think when you look at Tennessee, it just makes all the sense in the world to add a dynamic rusher like Abdul Carter. He still has room to grow. Obviously, it's only his first year playing the position. He was an off-ball linebacker for the first 2 years. But I think when you look at him, the upside to be a truly dynamic presence off the edge.
Yeah, he's a beast. Hey, a couple things. One, real quick, the Eagles, obviously, D-line will be an issue, right? Because you're going to lose Milton Williams. You're going to lose Josh Sweat. That's what it appears to be. You got a couple good young players. We like Jalen Hunt, the whole thing. What this draft is very rich in D-line. Who do you like? Give us some names maybe to keep an eye out for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at defensive line, certainly one of the strengths of this class. And so for all of our viewers right now, you want to make sure you're tuned in to the combine here today, because the defensive line takes the field. You have the defensive tackles first, then the edge guys, and then the off-ball linebackers. So they'll go in that order this afternoon. And to me, when you look at the defensive tackle group, man, it is a rare group here in Indianapolis. It's an exorbitant amount of players here at the position. The representation is higher than most years that I've seen since I've been coming here to Indianapolis. The most, I'm pretty sure it's the most since my first year. My first year was 2011. So, when you're looking at this group, it's anything you're looking for. You want somebody that's got that Milton Williams skill set that, can line up all over the tackle, kick inside, had that explosive first step up the field. Omar Norman Lott is a guy I really like out of Tennessee. He's got that explosive first step, that ability to pressure the quarterback. If you're looking for more of your sturdy, strong at the point of attack type, plenty of those guys. There's the hybrid players in between. So everyone you're looking for in this draft, you're going to be able to find it. And then when you look off the edge, I find it interesting because to me, when I look at Vic Fangio's scheme, you need a guy to do one of two things, because we know how versatile Vic Fangio wants to be with that defensive front. You either want a guy that can line up outside early and kick inside, or you want that skill set to be able to drop in reverse and be able to be activated in some of those sim pressures as well. And so again, this is a strong defensive end group as well. Those edge rushers here today, they should have a couple of really dynamic testers. James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee, another Tennessee Vol, they had one of the better defensive lines in football
defense
this year.
was legit. Like that Tennessee front was very good. Very good.
Yeah, and Pierce, he's going to be one of the top testers here. I do think that there's areas where he needs to improve. I'd like to see a little bit better run defense from him on film, and that might be prohibitive to playing here in Philly. But there are a lot of guys. I mean, JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State, he's a guy I think really fits this scheme. He's a player that has had experience playing all over the front, wins with power, wins with urgency, 3-time first team, all Big Ten. So he's a guy that's got a lot of pelts on the wall. Played a ton of football. So, this is a really strong group from start to finish.
One of the other things, and I got to get to the quarterbacks with you. I saw your list. First of all, the work you're doing is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Though I do disagree a little bit with your quarterback list. The rule, this time of the year is always about rule changes and tweaking, and this is a league that, when it comes to rules, everything changes, man. What a fumble is, what a catch is, everything. So the big talk is overtime, which they need to address, penalties, replay. What are you hearing, rules, and what do you like out of it?
Yeah, I mean, the one big one that I know has been a big topic has been the chips in the ball. And the conversations that I've had, even going back to the Senior Bowl, and just talking about all of this technology, the reason why everyone talks about, with golf, you've got that ability to be able to track that stuff. In tennis, we've got the ability to get down to the microscopic, a quarter of an inch to be able to see if a ball lands, inbounds or out of bounds. Why can't they do it in football? The difference in football that makes that technology a little bit more difficult is that, in tennis, a tennis ball is isolated by itself. There's nobody on top of it. In football, you've got 12 300-pound human beings on top of it. That makes it difficult to be able to precisely track the placement of that football. And so I think they're still working through what is the best case, the best way to be able to navigate that, especially in weather as well. Tennis, you're not playing that like in the muck. So if you have a weather game, like the snow game that we saw here in Philadelphia in January against the Rams, that makes that a little bit more difficult as well. So there are a lot of factors that the league is trying to work through. I know that there have been a lot of different solutions pitched, but it's going to lead to a lot of discussions here in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I do like the overtime thing that needs to change. I mean, I actually they were talking about going to a full 15-minute quarter.
Yeah, and that's it's like you said, everybody it ping pongs back and forth in terms of what everybody wants. I personally find overtime to be very entertaining at the college level. I don't think that the NFL would ever lean fully that way. I think it's more likely, what you're saying, going back just to the full 15-minute quarter. But yeah, it's honestly those are the things where because there's so many options thrown around, especially this time of year. Once we get to the owners' meetings next month, it usually gets whittled down to, all right, here are the two options that are on the table. Just go into the room. You guys tell me what you come up with, and we'll figure out again in 2026.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. The only thing about the college is it's a little shootout-ish Right.
No question. Yes.
So that's and then the kickoff is interesting too because they have to figure out what to do with an onside kick. I mean, you can't. You have to give a team a shot. So I guess that's going to get tweaked. And then they were talking about moving touchbacks to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I think they're going to try. That would be one I think that they will probably try and tweak. It would be both of those, honestly, with the kickoff. I know the Eagles last year, they pitched the alternate to the onside kick, where instead of it being like a traditional onside kick, it's basically, I got to have it like I think it was a 4th and 15 type of thing, where it's like, okay, you've got the ability to make 15 yards on offense. If you get it, then you keep the ball. Obviously that's a pretty radical solution, but I think that's, to me, like that's something where that would add a level of excitement to it that maybe the onside kick, does not quite have, just because that has become so automatic for the return team.
Yeah, and obviously we spent the first couple days of the week talking about the tush push, and
right.
I don't know where you stand on this, but I don't understand why you're going to try to eliminate it. I just don't. I disagree with that whole notion.
Yeah, there's been lots of talk about what's the worst case that could happen in a play like that from a medical standpoint. I don't know. I mean, dude, like it's a violent sport. Like the worst case scenario could happen on any given play, right? Like, I think that when you look at that, I think the way that Todd Bowles summed it up was perfect. It's funny. I've been on a number of pressers this week where, I was standing right there when Raheem Morris said what he said about it. I was not in on Sean McDermott on Monday afternoon because he did his presser earlier than anybody. But when you're looking at the way that different people have reacted around the league, you got to remember that that is like to me anyway, it seems like a vocal minority. I think they're not going to get the 24 votes to be able to rule that out.
Yeah, I don't think so. And by the way, just as an addendum, the league said there were no injuries on the
right.
tush push last year, so that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you're up against it. I got to get this to you. So the quarterbacks are always the quarterbacks, and we know about this draft. It's not a great quarterback draft. We talk about obviously Ward and Sanders at the top. I got one issue with you. My boy Kyle McCord, 10. Franny, he's no way. Leonard can't throw. All right, you got Will Howard. You got. Look at your list. I'm going no. Kyle can spin it.
You and ZB, Zach Berman feels the same way as you. So you guys are definitely in the same boat there. Look, right now, the way that I approach my evaluations, right, and this isn't just a quarterback. This is at every position. I'll watch guys in the summer. I'll watch a couple games mid-season. If I can, I try and watch another game or two at the end of the season before the Senior Bowl, before the Shrine Bowl, and then I will watch guys again after the combine, going down the stretch. I'll watch a bunch of guys back to back to back. Obviously, I get a chance to see a lot of them live here. So I'm excited to see Kyle and some of these other guys, throw back to back here in Indianapolis as well. I got to see Kyle live at the Shrine Bowl. I got to see Howard, or not Howard, but Riley Leonard and some of these other guys at the Senior Bowl, right? So being able to now take all of those exposures, a lot of these evaluations are going to, because they are so clumped together. The way that I do my board, which I will explain on allphly.com in the coming weeks, because I'm going to be releasing my first top 100 here in a couple weeks now. When I do that, you'll get a sense of, okay, this is how I I tier prospects. So guys are all kind of bunched together, and Kyle's right there with, you mentioned Will Howard, you mentioned some of these other guys, Riley Leonard. I view everybody right now as a backup quarterback. And so when I look at them, there are very minute little differences between all of them, and things will change as the evaluation continues. It's a process, but that's the fun part about having these rankings available for all of our diehards on allphly.com, is that you get to see the evolution of my process as we go through month by month.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. But I watched every one of the kids' games. I obviously have a vested interest. And listen, I'm an honest appraiser, and go look at his spin rate. Like the kid can sling it. That's what I love about him, is that he can really sling it. He's got a great arm. He knows. And look, you're at the combine. How many Syracuse receivers are at the combine?
Yeah, there's one tight end, and they got the running back here, and that might be it. Other than Kyle, they got a pass rusher here, and that's it. Yeah, no, it's not a bunch of receivers here.
You get my point, right? Like when we talk about Jackson Dart,
right.
and you talk about some of these other quarterbacks that have a lot. Like the kid from Louisville, I like, and I think is legit. He's older, but I do think he's legit. And I did hear from a GM I talked to 2 days ago that said Kyle he said Dart is rising, and he said that Kyle is rising and should be a third, maybe if you get lucky, a second, depending if there's a run on him.
Yeah, no, it's look, we know how this goes at quarterback, and supply and demand it's something that there's always going to be that push-pull. A lot of it will be impacted by free agency, and that first big domino will be Matthew Stafford. Where does he end up? How does that impact Shedeur Sanders? Where does he end up? And then you go right down the list. So it's going to be really interesting over the next several weeks.
All right, Freddie, listen, go to work, and we're loving your work that what you're doing out there.
All right, appreciate it.
La 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 la. I love Freddie, but wrong on the list. Wrong. All right, wrong. I hate Quinn Ewers.
I'm gonna put you in a good mood. We saw a video of Jalen Hurts working out already. Another Bird's back at it working out. Skill position. They take no time off, these guys. All they want to do is repeat. Our boy, our punter and field goal place kicker holder, Braden Mann. He's on vacation. He's got his wife zipping him the ball. She put this up. She said she did not expect this to be her off-season job. She's doing like 30 a day with them. Looks like they're on vacation. There's like they're in a gym. There's like these guys are focused.
I got to get 50 in. I got to get 100 in. I got to get 200 in.
Focused.
That's it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You have a Rite Aid back in the day moment?
Yeah, we do. It's ones that, I'm happy about this one.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Let's go back. We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah.
There's a guy in college basketball who's like Pat McClune. Like everyone likes him. Bill Raftery.
Oh,
So this week, Raf called a game at UCLA. His first time back there since Bill Walton had passed. And he rocked a tie-dye shirt during the broadcast for Bill.
I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Raf.
Raf
is the greatest.
He is.
He's the greatest.
One of my top 3 people I'd love to have a cocktail with.
Raf?
Yeah.
We can make that
be
happen.
A great hotel bar guy.
I actually had dinner with Raf.
What? You've had dinner with Raf?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was Raf, Jay Wright.
Wow.
It was Sean McDonough.
Nice.
Because Sean McDonough and Raf were doing a game.
Yeah.
And it was and Jay. There was somebody else there too. I'm trying to remember who else was. Anyway, we had dinner on it was a good spot. We just you take the elevator up to the dining room.
Oh yeah.
I
like that.
Right in Rittenhouse Square.
Huh.
What's the name of that place? Anyway, yeah, it was great. And wine.
Yeah.
And Raf's a blast.
That's what I think.
He's a blast.
I'd rather hang out with him than a movie star or a rock star. I'd rather hang out with
he's
Raf.
the best of Raf. He is. He's the greatest. That's going to do it for us. Wow. Fast. Goes by quick, man.
Quick week this week.
It is a quick week. Football Friday, Combine Football Friday tomorrow. We'll have it all set.
Are we doing 40 times here?
Joey, 40 times tomorrow. You versus
Frazier. I'll video it.
Yes. All right. You versus Andrew in the 40. I love it. All right.
I got that one.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man.
Right.
Track star back in high school. Come on now.
I like it. All right.
Tell bro to bring some sneakers.
We'll have a great day, everybody. We love you. Be careful. See you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.